Hey guys, it's Moose here, and welcome back to episode 4 of my speed build series. So, this build is something a little bit closer to home. It's the style of house that I grew up in, and the style of house that I grew up in was a shotgun house. Maybe not a stereotypical shotgun house, but it's something that I've lived in for a while, and it's something that it's probably my favorite style of housing, just based on its history and based on how they're built, and they're just really nice and simple houses. But a lot of them look really, really pretty when you see them. So I grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana, and one of sort of the main style of houses, besides sort of the stuff that you see online at the French Quarter, is a shotgun house. So shotgun houses tend to be around 12 feet across, but really, really long. They just have rooms one after the other, and the idea or the myth behind shotgun houses is that you could hold a shotgun at the front door and shoot a slug all the way through the house, and it would go out the back door. Which I find kind of funny. You'd have to have some pretty good aim, but who knows? I guess someone could do it. They were created sort of around Civil War. The first few shotgun houses were created before the Civil War, and they were mostly created in the southern states after the end of the Civil War through the 1920s. They were also called shotgun shacks, shotgun huts, and it's sort of the classic kind of house that you would see in New Orleans. Although they are built in Texas, Mississippi, Kentucky, Florida. But you can also find them in Chicago, which I find kind of funny. But nowadays they're really, really interesting, and a lot of people, like, there are literal build codes that state you cannot change the facade of a shotgun house. You can change the interior though. So I've loosely based these off of the houses that I grew up in and grew up nearby. A lot of these houses are renovated to be apartments or to be condominiums, which is kind of interesting because they're fairly small. But one of my neighbor's house I find so funny because they have like 4 different apartments in a shotgun house, which I don't understand that. You can't fit that many people, but I see people going in and out of that apartment or condominium all the time. But most houses, like the one on the right, tend to only have 1 bedroom and 1 bath. Did I manage to make it 2 bedroom? No, I didn't. Most of them only have like 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. They tend to be pretty small. But they end up looking really nice, and they can sell for a lot of money if you can renovate them and make them look better. But a lot of the ones that are still surviving today that weren't built recently are close to 100 years old, maybe even older. I know the house that I lived in, or I still live in, is maybe 130 years old. Not 130. Maybe 130. I don't know. It's pretty old. A few years ago, we had the previous owners of our house come over, and they were like, "Man, I remember my grandmother grew up in this house." And it's really interesting to hear stuff like that because it gives you this sense of history that your house had. And all those creaks in the walls and the weird warped floors and the window panes that are far too expensive to replace. These houses were built in times where they didn't use rulers as much. They may look 90-degree angles, but some of them may not be. And they're just really interesting houses to build in. So, in the red house as well as the blue house, I tended to use a similar layout. I just used one long hallway on the side with doors attached to the room. So as we're working on the red house, I decided to put the kitchen in the front as well as the living room, and then the bedroom and the bathroom on the back. In the blue house, I decided to make it a 2-story with a bedroom on the bottom floor, a kid's bedroom actually, and the parents' bedroom and master bath on the top floor. You mostly don't find shotgun houses that are 2 stories. They exist, but a lot of them were renovated. You're not going to find some, 150-year-old 2-story shotgun houses that often. They're there. They're definitely there, but you don't see them as much, and they're really expensive. Like, what we used to do, I haven't done it very often in a while, but I remember going around house hunting, in quotes, with my family as we would walk to a ice cream shop that was nearby my house, and we would just look up houses that were for sale, and we'd find these like really tiny little shotgun houses or renovated homes, and we would be like, how much are these? And we'd look them up and they'd be like, oh, $300,000 for a 1-bedroom 2-bathroom house. Okay, never mind. And we just sort of laugh about it for a while, and we'd just keep walking to the ice cream shop, or we'd keep walking home depending on when we were doing it. And I just found that really funny. So these houses weren't necessarily made out of brick. I haven't seen a lot of brick shotgun houses. They were mostly made out of wood. So most of the time, cypress trees, actually, because cypress trees are water resistant, and they're really, really durable, and they last a long time. Nowadays, you can't do that. Building out of cypress is illegal, I think, because of all the logging that happened in the 1900s. People just really liked cypress wood, and I don't blame them. Cypress wood is really, really nice, but you can't do that as often, or you can't really do that at all, because there's not a lot of them left. So in this corner, I wanted to put, a nice little dining area, because it is a fairly small house. You can't really have big dining tables in these houses. So I was like, how am I going to do this? A three? Nah. I want that sort of open area, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to put the table diagonally. Just a nice little 2-seated one, and I like that little diagonal table that I put in the corner. I think it just sort of really used that space well, and I wanted to put something on the table. I've been getting better at decorating with, little decorations and things, because I know that I am not good at it, so I just try my hardest to do it. I am sorry. There wasn't enough room for an office in this build, so I decided to put the computer in the kitchen. I've seen it before, and I just thought it was it used the space well. There wasn't really a lot that I could put in that corner. Maybe a little bowl, or, a sim could cook there, but just some nice little paintings in the corner. I noticed that there's a lot of sort of jazzy paintings in this game. I thought it was kind of funny just being like, oh, look, a guy playing the piano, a guy playing the saxophone. That's great. I know that jazz isn't just in Louisiana. It's all across the world. But it kind of started here, and I'm gonna be proud of that. So I put the tile in the kitchen. This is definitely a renovated home. A lot of kitchens in shotgun houses, like, there weren't kitchens in shotgun houses. Neither were bathrooms. They were mostly in the backyard. Like, there'd be a little shed in the back because they didn't want, or they couldn't afford plumbing in the housing way back when it was created. Excuse me a moment. They couldn't afford plumbing back then, but a lot of the houses were renovated to have bathrooms inside. I know that in the house that I live in, there's this huge cement square in the backyard, and I would always ask my dad, like, hey Dad, what's that for? He was like, oh, that's where the bathroom used to be. I'll be like, oh, okay. We put a shed on it to put gardening stuff. But here I just did the master bedroom, well, the only bedroom in the house. I had put a nice little treadmill in it and a nice little reading nook, because everyone needs a place to read. And here is the bathroom. In both of the houses, well, in this house I put a wrought iron bathroom because a wrought iron tub, because I've noticed that that's kind of that's what was in my house. you know, just a nice little metal tub. I love those tubs. They're really, really nice, and they can either add or take away to a house depending on how you keep it up. Um, so a nice tile wall, and I'm almost done with this build. I just need to put a few more paintings on the walls. I know that in my house we have quite a few paintings and sculptures on the walls, although there's not a lot of sculptures in this game. And then I realized, hey, I didn't add the windows. So I went back. I was trying to figure out where to place a TV in this build. No chance at all that I'm going to be able to place a TV in this house. There's just no room. And then now I'm going back and placing in the windows. And did I forget that window? I did not. Oh, I did. Oh, well. So I just put in the nice paintings and left it with that. And then I just move on to the backyard. So oak trees are also really popular in backyards, although they're a lot of them are dying. I know that ours was dying when I was a kid, and I am still a kid. What am I talking about? Ours is still dying. We're trying our best to keep it alive, but they're like, yeah, it has like 10 years left, and it's gone. And it's like right over our house. So a few years ago, we recently had someone cut down the branches over our house so it wouldn't fall. Oh, I found that really funny. So I added a nice little garden-y area in front of that house, and now I'm doing the same on this side. I didn't add it into this build. You probably saw it at the beginning, but I was trying to get a wrought iron fence in the front because a lot of shotgun houses had wrought iron fences in the front of their houses. But it really sucks because in this game they don't have full wrought iron fences. They have those little tiny half ones, and it bothers me. I want a full wrought iron fence, not something that you put in front of a garden. So here's where I move on to the other house. So in this little corner right next to the stairs, as well as one of the walls to the I think I turned that into the kids' bedroom. Yeah, that's the kids' bedroom. I start with the kitchen. Again, it's a fairly small kitchen. It's not too extravagant, but excuse me, definitely renovated. Just a nice sort of very conservative style kitchen. Nice big fridge. And just sort of a nice little corner kitchen. I think in front of it, yeah, I put a dining table because, well, every sim needs a place to eat. And then in front of the kitchen, I think I move on to that in just a moment. Yeah, I was trying to figure out where to put the tile. Yeah, here it is. I move on to the living room. Now this house in all is going to be a very expensive house. Just pretty much based on the fact that it has 2 bedrooms and a second floor. Ooh, sorry, I had breakfast recently. It's pretty early in the morning, 10 o'clock. But nice big TV, and I wanted to kind of make it more modern, but that didn't end up working out. So I ended up using the modern TV little table thing, and then the coffee table made out of glass. And then I added those walls in, and I just sort of looked at it for a moment, and I realized it didn't fit. It didn't fit to me. So I'm adding in the paintings right now, as well as the windows. Yeah. So I'm searching through, just trying to figure out where I want to place things. Come on, where do I remove it? I want to be right for once in my timing of talking about things. Although I never am, really. Oh, there it is. There we go. I removed it. And I just added in a nice little wood one. And then a carpet. Do I stick with that one? No, I move on to that one. Yeah, I like that one a lot better. Nice little doormat. And I realized I didn't add in the windows yet. I added in the windows soon. There we go. And here we go. Something funny about shotgun houses. You can every shotgun house has windows on. Well, every shotgun house that I lived in, at least, has windows on either side, so you can quite literally, like if your neighbors have their blinds open, you can quite literally see into their house. Um, not a lot of privacy. I feel like the only room that doesn't have it. No, even our bathroom. Oh, of course our bathroom has a window. It was there originally wasn't supposed to be a bathroom. Um, but here's where I start working on the kids' bedroom. I decided to make it a two-bedroom kids' bedroom. I didn't add toys or anything. I was more of imagining maybe 11, 12-year olds probably living here, maybe some twins or whatever. Just a nice, very neutral bedroom. Um, Definitely more of a masculine bedroom, just based on sort of the darker colors. But any kids could live in here pretty much. It is a very well stated bedroom, nice and modern. Uh, yeah, I ended up using the orange color, and I didn't add any light in there. There we go. Now I added light, and I just used those around the house because I like those how they look. And here we move on to the bathroom. I end up sticking with that tile in the walls, and then I add in a sink. I like using the countertops as sinks. I know there's the standalone ones. I would more use those for smaller bathrooms, like I don't bathroomettes or whatever they're called, just with a sink and a toilet, just to save space. But I mean, if I can put a full bath in there, I'm gonna put a full sink, because I don't like not having space to put stuff when I'm in the bathroom, because I need room to put my stuff, because I'm a very messy and spacious person, and I like things. So having a place to put my towel on the sink, or maybe the clothes that I want to get dressed in the morning, or I don't know, shaving cream. Having a tiny sink, you have to put everything in a cabinet or something. You don't have room. So I'm moving on to the master bedroom. This master bedroom is pretty large, so I decided to add in a den as well and a piano, and it ended up looking really, really nice. Although very hard to take pictures in. So I think I just I sneezed right there. So I'm just looking at some curtains, and I decided, nah, I'm not going to do that. And then I move on to a nice living room. I end up switching that couch around and putting a TV on the wall. Do I? I don't. No, I do. Switch it. Switch it. Come on, I know you do. Do it. Do it. Okay. I put a nice really big, there we go. I put a nice really big carpet in there and add a TV to the wall, as well as that nice little chest looking thing. I would love to have one of those in my house. But we just have wicker. We have wicker everything, which I'm okay with, but nah. So here I'm trying to figure out how, I wanted to place the piano the other way around, but I couldn't, and it bothered me. So I ended up going, you know what, screw it. I'm putting the piano that way. I don't know how they got that piano in there. Don't ask me how. I don't know how they got anything up there. Probably in pieces. That would be a pain, because you can't really remove a wall. I mean, you could, but that would be really expensive. So I'm just adding in the final pictures and everything to that room. And again, I still love the movie posters so much. And now I'm moving on to the bathroom. I wanted a nice little romantic kind of bathroom with dark reds and black and gold. I really love those mirrors. Those mirrors are so fancy to me, and I never really get a chance to use them because they're hard to put in a build that you don't want to look posh or like look fancy or whatever. So I realized I didn't put a toilet in this bathroom, so I'm gonna put a divider wall, so you have sort of a little place to hide your toilet away from sort of just the door. I just didn't like the idea of just randomly placing it against the wall. So I end up adding another movie poster in the kitchen. I mean, in the bathroom, and then I move on to the backyard. So I wanted a nice little place that my Sims could go outside and eat and, you know, have a little party or whatever, maybe with a few of their friends. And then I add that little statue, and here are the screenshots I'm finishing up right now. So here we have the first just look at the house, and I really liked how the outside looked. It definitely looks like shotgun houses to me. Here is another view, mostly of the blue house, with the nice orange flowers in the front, the nice flower bed. I'm so proud that I figured out how to make that little tiny wall. Here is the blue backyard with the nice picnic bench and the lady with the flowers growing over it. I didn't really add a lot of detail to the back, but I still think it turned out fine. Here is the kitchen in the red house with the nice table and, just sort of the done up modern style kitchen. Here is the living room in the in the red house, looking in from the kitchen. Not a TV, but don't necessarily need a TV in a house to have a nice house. Here is the the red bedroom, with the nice little reading nook and the bed with the sloth painting over it because I could not help myself. Um, Here's just the hallway in the red house with the nice paintings on the wall and a little look at the kitchen. I like that sort of dividing wall in the kitchen. It's really nice. Here is the interior of the blue house looking down the hallway and at the kitchen with a little bit of the living room in it. And the nice lights in the hallway and here's a look at the blue living room. Nice. It's a little bit older styled than the other living room, which is just sort of a stereotypical living room, and a nice big TV. Here's the kids' bedroom. I had to do a nice little overview look at it because I couldn't really get a good angle inside, but I thought it turned out really nice with the day and night carpets. Here is just the second floor looking at the blue house with the bedroom, the bathroom, and the stairwell. And here is the first floor of both the houses where you can just see everything that goes on inside, as well as the two backyards. And we're moving on to the final screenshot of just the overview of the two houses. And I really, really liked this build. I had so much fun doing it over the past few days. I think it turned out great. I think they look exactly like shotgun houses. But I've been Moose, and I'll see you in another video.